Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you all, and thank you very much for having me. Thank you to McKinsey for organising this event. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about batteries. They may not sound particularly important, but batteries are crucial in powering any device from an OEM stage. Thank you. So the topics that I wanted to cover today and wanted to discuss with you, highlighted there. So Energizer Holdings as a global leader, the technology advantage that Energizer offer, the power that we can offer for your OEM needs, your OEM requirements, and then finally to cover off our portfolio of brands that we have and the portfolio of products that we offer. So moving first then with Energizer as a global leader, this just gives you a bit of an overview of the size of the organization. A lot of people already recognize Energizer within the market. So globally, $3 billion in net sales. That covers our retail sectors, that covers our auto care, that also covers our light segment, as well as our OEM and our hearing aid business that are all part of that. We've got a combination of over 5,000 colleagues across 30 different countries in the world. So we're a multinational organization. We are the proud makers of the world's longest lasting AA battery, the Energizer Ultimate Lithium. So when it comes to powering devices, we really are one of the leaders in terms of innovation and in terms of performance. And you'll see there from that tagline across the bottom, we're the leader in our categories. We are the number one battery manufacturer globally, the number one auto care supplier in the USA, and also the number one branded portable light supplier in the USA as well. So that's Energizer Holdings as an overall. I obviously deal with a smaller segment of that, which is the batteries in our OEM sector. So to give you a bit of a flavour of where Energizer sit with our brands and within the market, we've got a 37.9% global dollar share. So when you compare that to private labels, to our biggest competitor in the market, Duracell, Energizer do sit as number one, and that encompasses our Energizer brand, Rayovac, and also our Everready brand as well, which all fall under that portfolio. And you'll see from the data there that over time, over the previous 3 years, that has been growing. So we are growing, we're taking more share, more and more consumers are choosing Energizer products for their devices. So our vision in terms of how we aim to move forward, we're looking to deliver an innovative portfolio of batteries, which is what we have. And we also want to do that with strong partnership with our customers. So we're working at the moment in partnership with McKinsey, and we want to continue to work with strategic partners to bring both ours and their category knowledge and expertise. We want to work with leaders in the research and development sector, people who are at the ground when it comes to designing devices, putting batteries into devices, and are leaders in terms of designing their technology so that we can make sure that we're there working with them, learning from them, and importantly, supporting them as well. So our portfolio, we have a range with our portfolio of batteries. So anything that you would see within the retail setting from a AA, AAA, C cells down into coin cells, we have that range within our portfolio to match what a customer is going to need. Importantly, it mentions as they're meeting shopper needs as well. So Energizer are seen predominantly as a retail organization, but importantly from an OEM side, for people like myself, it's having that brand recognition within a device so that people know the Energizer name, they're seeing that in the device when they're using it, and then they're getting used to that as they move through the life cycle of the product. Our global brands as well, we are the number one manufacturer globally. And as I've already mentioned, we like to talk about it because we're very proud of it. We're the maker of the longest lasting AA, that Ultimate Lithium battery. So in terms of how we look to execute that, we work through a way of innovative promotions and also with our global logistics to make sure we can offer security and supply to all of our customers. So the battery sector in total then, so in the retail setting, $16 billion is spent on batteries. So from a manufacturing point of view, you can look at that and you can understand that there is still a demand in the market for batteries. More and more consumers want to use battery products, and we're seeing that growth and that projected growth as it's going to continue in future years. One of the things on there that surprised me in this research is the number of battery-powered devices in every household. On average, 21 battery-powered devices in every single household, which, when you count through them, actually does make a lot of sense. And I think it's important then that when we're looking at all of these devices in the market, making sure there's a trusted battery and a trusted battery supplier there that's supporting with those. We also, again, we expect to see that growth, and that will come with more product development, new products coming into the market. So Energizer as well, we want to act responsibly in how we work. So we're looking at ways that we can use recycled materials within our product to improve our carbon footprint. Our sustainable packaging as well, from an OEM perspective, we supply our product in bulk cardboard trays so they can be used and then they can be recycled once they've been used. So we don't supply OEM product in retail ready packs that use plastic. We make sure that we're using appropriate packaging, reducing our impact on the environment, and ultimately speeding up your processes and your manufacturing as well. So from an emissions point of view, we've seen a 9% decrease since 2021. And as I said, we're continuing to build on that. And we want to be known as a responsible manufacturer as well as a leader in terms of innovation as well. So the technology advantage within Energizer. So we've got a lot of history in the battery market. It goes back over 100 years. We are the original manufacturer of a dry cell battery. It was invented by Eveready over 100 years ago. And since then, Eveready became part of the Energizer Corporation. So when you look at batteries and knowledge and expertise, as I said, we've been there from a very, very early stage. So we've got a huge R&D team based across the globe. So wherever you may have questions, wherever you may have requirements, we'll have colleagues in the area who are able to support. The longevity within those colleagues as well. So there we have colleagues with up to 40 years of experience within the organization. I'm not quite there myself, only 7 years, not quite there at the 40, but we have a huge wealth of knowledge and expertise within the organization who can support, who can offer, whether it's technical support, whether it's product support. We've got a huge wealth of experience and knowledge within the team there. So this is a little bit of a timeline just on how we've developed over the years, when we've brought products to market, and importantly, so you can kind of get a grasp of the innovation that we've seen over the years. So going back there, the first dry cell battery, 1896, and then from there, we developed a 9-volt battery back in the 50s. That was originally developed for use in radios and in watches, and then we continued the mass production of that. So from a 9-volt perspective, we've been there from day one. We've been the innovators of it. We've moved that product forward into what it is today. We then moved forward to developments in the early 90s, 1991, zero mercury in our alkaline cells. And then from there, we had the introduction of the AA lithium battery in 1992. So as we kind of fast forward through that, you can see a lot of the important developments that we've made, whether it be child-resistant packaging, 2018, the Guinness World Record for the longest lasting AA battery. So if you're looking for a AA product to go into your devices, why not use the one that is the longest lasting in the world? And then we move on from there, 2021, again, continuing that innovation, the longest lasting 2032 battery. We move forward even further to 2024, keeping on the topic of the coin cells. We introduced a triple child safety system. I'll go into that a little bit later in a bit more detail. But that was a big development, and I think it shows the importance that Energizer places on innovation, on safety and responsibility as a manufacturer as well. So in terms of our manufacturing, from both perspectives, we want to ensure high quality at all times. So in order to do that, we have reliability tests that our batteries go through. We carry out these tests over a number of years. You can read from the information there on the level of control, quality control that we go through with every single battery. Every single alkaline battery tested twice for its voltage on manufacture. So we really are going to as many lengths as we can to make sure that our product, when it goes into the market, it's a trusted product. It's a product that consumers can rely on, manufacturers can rely on, and that we're not cutting corners when it comes to our testing. We're making sure that it's a high quality product being delivered into the market. So this gives a little bit of an overview of our facilities. So we have a new R&D innovation center. What we've done is we've actually consolidated some of the other facilities that we had around the world to bring resources into one location so we can have all of the top minds working together and understanding and learning from each other to pass on that knowledge, that expertise, to make sure that we're delivering on what we promise in terms of R&D and in terms of that development. So in terms of how I could summarize what we offer within our portfolio, long-lasting obviously has to be the main one. Our batteries are known for their high performance, whether that be alkaline, whether it be lithium. We're leaders in the category. So outright performance, Energizer are one of the leaders there. Our product quality, we say that our batteries are made to last and not to leak. Obviously, leakage is a big factor if you're thinking of manufacturing a device. Even for a consumer using a device, leakage is a big problem for the damage that it can cause. We make sure that our batteries are made to last and not leak. The reliability, our batteries can hold power up to 25 years in storage. That's applicable to the Energizer Ultimate Lithium. So when you think about that, 25 years of shelf life for a battery before it needs to be used is huge. And I think that just goes to show the quality and the reliability that we put into our batteries. And then our responsibility as well. So recycled materials being used in our rechargeable batteries, and also we have the 3-in-1 child shield. Again, I'll touch on that a little bit later in a bit more detail. It's a very important innovation that we've come up with. So I'm not going to go into too much detail yet, but it highlights how responsible we are as an organization. So when it comes then to powering your OEM needs, so if you're a manufacturer and you're looking at a project and you want to know where Energizer can fit within that and how we can support. So we have a wide range of products. We also have a range of support, whether that be through logistics, innovation, that customer confidence as well. As I said, consumers know Energizer, they know our products, they know our brand. So from that perspective, they can be confident that your end user will know and trust the battery that's in that device. The competitive advantage as well that I've already touched on, we're the market leader, we have the largest share within the market, as those sales figures demonstrated. So again, it's a product that consumers recognize and they actively seek out. So in terms of our locations then and how we're spread across the globe. So you'll see there we've got 14 different manufacturing or packaging facilities spread throughout the globe. We have facilities there based in North America. We've got facilities within Europe. We have facilities in Asia, Africa, and also in South America as well. So we have presence across the globe to make sure that we can respond as an organization to what you as a manufacturer need. So whether you need product shipping from one location, whether you need it from Europe, if you need it from Asia, we'll work to source the best route and the best possible location to meet your requirements. So in terms of Energizer's expertise, it's not just a case of we'll say, here's the portfolio and there you go, that's all there is to it. We have that knowledge. We work with manufacturers to make sure they're selecting the best battery for their requirements, the best battery for their device, depending on the chemistry. So we can offer support to make sure you're making the right choices at the design stage as well. And also support when it comes to complying with regulations, whether that be shipments, whether that be technical specifications. We have a range of support that we can offer with that as well. As I said before, we've got years of engineering experience and innovation, a lot of new developments that we as a manufacturer have been responsible for. So whether that be testing and evaluation, whether that be the performance claims that we have, safety standards, all of those, again, very important to how we work. And we've put a lot of time and effort into making sure we dedicate a lot of attention towards those. And as I said, excellent support. I've kind of already summed that up. So we've got dedicated teams, whether it be in the local market, whether that be globally, and we all work together as well. So it's not a case that we're isolated to one team within one location. There may be that we get support from our colleagues in North America, our colleagues in Asia, our colleagues within Europe. We all work together to make sure we're delivering the best support that you need across all functions within your organization. So coming on then to our portfolio of brands. So you may already be familiar with the products that we have. So our premium product, our Energizer Max alkaline product, and then we have the Energizer Ultimate Lithium. If you're looking for a performance improvement in terms of alkaline, depending on the device, depending on the requirements and the specifications, there's an option there with Ultimate Lithium. And then we also have our specialty range as well. So we have a broad range of products, whatever the size, whatever the specification may be, to ensure that we're meeting the needs of OEMs, of manufacturers, and meeting the needs of your projects as well. So here is just a bit of a chart to kind of demonstrate how to select the best battery for the requirement and for what you're going to need. So I won't go through all of them in detail, but you can see there, we put time, dedication, effort into helping you identify what is the right battery to be used in what particular device, and the benefits that may have, and the requirements that may have as well. So again, Energizer, I feel like I'm really kind of emphasizing the point, but we are a long-lasting leader within the market. 98% brand awareness within the world in terms of our batteries. So again, consumers know who we are, they know the products that we have, they know who Energizer are, and they know that, we know that we're popular amongst them as well. Again, 3 out of 4 global consumers have purchased an Energizer battery. So when it comes to a battery being in a device, you know that a consumer will pick it up, they will recognize that it's an Energizer product, and they will know the quality, and they'll recognize it there. And 4.1 billion impressions globally per year, based on media reports from 2022 to 2023. And we cover more than 150 countries as well, covering almost the entire world in terms of our global reach. And then you have examples there of our 2 brand characters that we have that represent the Energizer brand. You've got Mr. Energizer, who is seen across Europe and across the rest of the world, and the Energizer Bunny there, who's solely in North America. So we've got 2 great brands, great brand characters to carry our brand as well, and the consumers know and love them in whatever market they're in. So going on then to the Ultimate Lithium, again, this is our highest quality AA battery, the longest lasting AA battery, 100% leak proof, 25 years in terms of shelf life, performance in extreme temperatures as well. So whether that be down as low as kind of minus 40 degrees, it can also go up to plus 60 degrees Celsius as well. So if you're looking for a battery that goes into a device in hot conditions, in conditions where that reliability is important, then the Ultimate Lithium is a perfect choice. And then also, it's lighter than alkaline. Some people are surprised to hear that, but when it comes to things like storage, transportation, even the weight of the device itself, it's lighter than alkaline, so 33% lighter for the AA versus its alkaline comparator. So when you factor that in, when it comes to transportation and things like that, it definitely has some wide-ranging benefits. Moving on to the alkaline product. So again, long-lasting, it's a premium brand that consumers know. We have a secure seal on the product, so it protects the battery from leakage. So it protects leakage, fully used batteries up to 2 years. So during the lifetime of the product, while the battery is being used, you've got a degree there of certainty that the battery isn't going to leak. 10-year shelf life in terms of holding its power in storage. And again, there, the responsibility that we're looking to incorporate recycled materials in the device to make sure that we're being responsible as a manufacturer. And then moving on to our speciality, our coin cells. So again, they deliver long-lasting performance, 12-year shelf life. And then the most important thing I think to stress about these batteries, A lot of you may already know that the dangers, I suppose, the hazards of a lithium coin cell battery, especially if it gets into the hands of children, vulnerable adults. We've introduced 3, in terms of the retail packaging protections. When it comes to the OEM, one of them is child-proof packaging. From an OEM perspective, that isn't relevant. But from an OEM standpoint, we have bitterant and a colour alert safety system on the battery. So how that works, if a child finds the battery on the floor, takes it out of a pack, wherever it may be, puts the battery onto their tongue, it will have a bitter coating. So that would encourage the child to spit the battery out, not to ingest it. So we try and protect from that first point to stop a child from ingesting the battery. And then the colour alert safety system, that is specifically designed, if the battery comes into contact with saliva, the battery contains a blue dye, which will then dye the tongue blue. So that would mean that if you're a parent, if you're a carer for a vulnerable adult, and you notice that a battery is missing from a device or a package is open, and your child walks into the room with a blue tongue, they've potentially swallowed that battery, and you can then go seek medical attention as quickly as possible. So from that perspective, that for me, in terms of responsibility as a manufacturer, I'm quite proud of that innovation and bringing that to the market. We're doing all that we can to make sure that vulnerable adults and children are protected from potentially dangerous batteries if they do get into their hands. Again, this sums up everything that I've just said here, how we're trying to drive action. We know how dangerous these batteries can be, but we know they're still required in the world. We know there still is a requirement in the market for them. So we're looking to try and find ways, either by working with people to know how to use coin devices within their home, to know the symptoms of ingestion as well, really to try and offer that education. Again, offering advice on securing batteries to keep them out of children's hands. But ultimately, as a manufacturer, we can choose to add more safety features, which is exactly what we've done with the 3-in-1 that we've incorporated into the batteries. So again, just going through here a few more of the developments, the innovations and things that we've brought to market. So we were the first to introduce child-resistant packaging within these batteries. So it wasn't specifically a market requirement, but we chose to do that. Move forward to 2023, a new law called Reese's Law was brought in the US. That required that all button cell batteries be in a child-resistant pack. So we've worked closely to make sure that our packaging complies with those regulations, to make sure we've taken all the steps necessary to improve our safety. And then, as I said, in 2024, we launched that triple safety system, and that is now available in our bulk tray product as well. So it's not only a protection for consumers in retail, we've now incorporated that into our bulk trays in the key 2032, 2016, the key sizes, and 2025. So in terms of development and moving forward, again, we're always committed to that technical development, looking to continue our research, how we can try and improve and minimize that risk to children from these batteries. This just goes into a bit more of the detail of what I've already shared. So again, the bitter coating on the battery there to try and discourage swallowing. And there as well, so unlike other leading brands, where we've placed the bitter coating is within industry standards. So some manufacturers have faced issues where the bitter coating has caused problems with contacts and with connections in devices. So we've worked to make sure that it's within industry standards and to make sure that it's still going to offer the performance that's needed from the battery. And then I've already talked about it, but again, there's more information on it here. The only coin lithium cell that has this additional line of defense. So it says that injury can occur in less than 2 hours. So if you think about it, if you lose a battery, if you don't notice it, if you maybe don't notice that a device is open and that a child has picked the battery up, in just 2 hours, that can cause serious injury to a child. Whereas if you can walk into the room now and your child has a blue tongue, you know straight away that something's happened, that there's something that you need to react to, it's something you need to respond to. So that technology will notify you immediately. As soon as the battery comes into contact with saliva, you're going to get that reaction. So again, I just really want to stress it because I think it's so important to have that additional line of defense. And as I said, we're the only coin lithium that currently offer that technology. And that is how I wanted to end, with that fantastic message about the safety, the innovation from Energizer. So thank you all very much. I'm right over next to the front door, so you all have to walk past me before you either come in or leave today. So do come over and say hello if you want to speak to me about any more of our products or any more of our innovations. But thank you all very much.